Good morning, friends. I'm Arthur, and welcome back to Senior Strength Show. Now, before we dive into today's urgent and deeply important topic, if you're over 60 and you sometimes worry about who will be there for you as you age, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what I'm about to reveal affects millions of American seniors and could save you from a crisis that's quietly devastating our communities. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Carol Levine, a gerontologist and researcher who has spent 15 years studying what she calls the elder orphan crisis, seniors aging without family support systems. Doctor, let's start with the definition that might shock our viewers. What exactly is an elder orphan?
Thank you for addressing this critical issue. An elder orphan is an older adult who is aging without the support of close family members, either because they never had children, their children live far away, their children are unable or unwilling to help, or they've outlived their support network.
Doctor, that definition is both heartbreaking and frightening. How widespread is this crisis in America?
The numbers are staggering. An estimated 22% of Americans over 65, that's nearly 12 million seniors, are elder orphans or at high risk of becoming elder orphans. This percentage is growing rapidly as birth rates decline and families become more geographically scattered.
12 million seniors. Doctor, that's not just a personal tragedy, that's a national emergency. What's driving this crisis?
Multiple factors are converging. Declining birth rates mean fewer adult children. Increased mobility means families are scattered across the country. Divorce and remarriage have complicated family structures. And longer lifespans mean many seniors are outliving their support networks. We're creating a generation of seniors who are facing aging completely alone.
Doctor, before we explore solutions, I need to ask, what does it actually look like when an elder orphan faces a health crisis or emergency? What happens to them?
That's where this crisis becomes truly heartbreaking. Elder orphans often delay seeking medical care because they have no one to drive them or advocate for them. When they're hospitalized, they have no one to make decisions if they become incapacitated. They're discharged to empty homes with no support for recovery. Many end up in nursing homes prematurely, not because they need skilled care, but because they have no family support system.
Doctor, help us understand who is most at risk of becoming an elder orphan. Is this affecting certain groups more than others?
Elder orphans come from all backgrounds, but certain groups are disproportionately affected. Childless seniors, of course, but also those whose only child predeceased them. Divorced seniors whose relationships with adult children became strained. LGBTQ+ seniors who may have been rejected by biological families, and immigrants whose families remained in their countries of origin. What's particularly heartbreaking is that many of these seniors spent their lives contributing to their communities, working, paying taxes, and supporting others. They're not isolated by choice, they're isolated by circumstance.
What about people who do have adult children but still end up as elder orphans?
This is more common than people realize. Adult children may live across the country or internationally, making regular support impossible. Some are overwhelmed by their own responsibilities, caring for their own children while managing careers. Others may be dealing with their own health issues, financial struggles, or family crises.
Doctor, I imagine some adult children simply aren't equipped to provide elder care, even if they want to help.
Exactly. Caregiving requires time, skills, emotional capacity, and often financial resources. Not every adult child can provide these, and expecting them to do so can create guilt and family conflict. Some families are loving, but simply unable to provide the level of support an aging parent needs.
What role does geography play in creating elder orphans?
Geography is huge. American families are incredibly mobile compared to previous generations. Adult children often live in different states or even different countries from their aging parents. When a health crisis hits, distance makes immediate support impossible.
Doctor, are there warning signs that someone is becoming or is at risk of becoming an elder orphan?
Yes, social isolation, having no one to call in emergencies, difficulty getting to medical appointments, no one to help with grocery shopping or household tasks, and perhaps most tellingly, having no one who would notice if they didn't show up somewhere or answer their phone for several days.
Doctor, what happens when elder orphans face medical emergencies or health crises?
This is where the elder orphan crisis becomes life-threatening. When elder orphans are hospitalized, they often have no one to serve as their advocate, no one to ask questions, challenge treatment decisions, or ensure they're receiving appropriate care. Hospital discharge becomes particularly dangerous. They're often sent home with complex care instructions, medication regimens, and follow-up appointments, but no one to help them navigate this. Many end up readmitted to hospitals within days because they couldn't manage their care alone.
What about everyday emergencies? Falls, sudden illness, accidents?
Elder orphans are at extreme risk because they may lie helpless for hours or days before anyone discovers them. We see cases of seniors who fall and can't reach a phone, who become ill and don't seek help because they have no one to drive them, or who die alone and aren't discovered for weeks.
That's absolutely heartbreaking. Doctor, what about decision-making during medical crises?
When elder orphans become incapacitated and haven't appointed healthcare proxies, decisions about their care fall to hospital ethics committees or court-appointed guardians who don't know their wishes or values. They may receive unwanted treatments or have treatments withheld that they would have wanted.
How does this crisis affect end-of-life care?
Elder orphans often die alone in hospitals or nursing homes with no familiar faces, no one to hold their hands, no one to ensure their final wishes are respected. It's a devastating way to end a life, especially for people who may have lived rich, contributing lives, but simply lacked family support systems.
Doctor, what about the financial exploitation that elder orphans might face?
Elder orphans are prime targets for financial scams and exploitation. Without family members monitoring their affairs, they're vulnerable to predatory schemes, dishonest caregivers, and unscrupulous businesses. Many lose their life savings to scammers who specifically target isolated seniors.
Doctor, this crisis sounds overwhelming, but surely there are solutions. How can seniors protect themselves from becoming isolated elder orphans?
Absolutely, there are strategies, but they require intentional planning and action. The first step is creating what I call a chosen family, building strong relationships with people who can provide different types of support as you age. This might include close friends who agree to serve as emergency contacts, neighbors who check on you regularly, faith community members who visit when you're ill, or professional relationships with healthcare providers who know your history and preferences.
How do people go about building these chosen family networks?
Start by being the kind of friend or neighbor you'd want to have. Get involved in community organizations, volunteer for causes you care about, join clubs or groups based on your interests. The goal is to create multiple overlapping relationships so you're not dependent on any one person.
What about formal planning documents? What do elder orphans need to have in place?
Legal preparation is crucial. Elder orphans need comprehensive advance directives, healthcare proxies, durable powers of attorney for finances, and detailed instructions about their care preferences. They should also consider hiring geriatric care managers who can coordinate care and make decisions when needed.
Doctor, what role can technology play in protecting elder orphans?
Technology can be a lifeline. Medical alert systems, smart home devices that can detect falls or unusual patterns, medication management systems, and apps that connect seniors with local services can all provide layers of safety and support.
Are there professional services specifically designed to help elder orphans?
Yes, and this field is growing. Geriatric care managers can serve as professional advocates, daily money management services can handle finances, companion services provide social interaction,
And some communities have aging-in-place coordinators who help seniors access local resources.
Doctor, this seems like a crisis that requires community-wide solutions. What can communities do to support elder orphans?
Communities have a crucial role to play. Some progressive communities are creating villages, networks of volunteers who provide transportation, shopping assistance, social activities, and emergency support for aging residents. Faith communities, neighborhood associations, and civic organizations can all develop programs to identify and support elder orphans. The key is creating systems that don't rely on family members who may not exist or be available.
What about government and policy solutions?
We need policies that recognize the reality of elder orphans. This includes expanding Medicare coverage for care coordination services, funding community-based support programs, and training healthcare providers to identify and support elder orphans.
Doctor, are they successful models from other countries that America could adopt?
Several European countries have developed comprehensive community support systems for aging in place. The Netherlands has care neighborhoods, where professionals and volunteers coordinate to support seniors. Some Scandinavian countries have public care coordinators for all seniors.
Doctor, what about intergenerational programs that connect elder orphans with younger people?
These can be wonderful. Programs that pair seniors with college students for mutual support, intergenerational housing where seniors live near young families, and mentorship programs where seniors share skills with younger people while receiving social connection.
How can healthcare systems better serve elder orphans?
Healthcare systems need to identify elder orphans during admission and have protocols for their care. This includes longer discharge planning, connections to community resources, and follow-up systems that don't rely on family members to coordinate care.
Doctor, let's talk about emergency planning. What should elder orphans have in place for when crisis strikes?
Emergency planning is critical. Elder orphans should have detailed emergency contact lists that include multiple people, neighbors, friends, healthcare providers, and service providers. They should keep this information accessible to first responders. They should also have emergency information packets with medical history, medication lists, healthcare preferences, and contact information for their healthcare team readily available in their homes.
What about financial emergency planning?
Elder orphans should have trusted individuals with limited financial powers of attorney who can pay bills and manage finances if they become incapacitated. They should also consider setting up automatic bill payments and having emergency funds easily accessible.
How important is it to have healthcare advocates?
Absolutely essential. Elder orphans should identify people willing to serve as healthcare advocates, to accompany them to medical appointments, ask questions, and ensure their preferences are communicated to healthcare providers.
What about end-of-life planning specifically for elder orphans?
End-of-life planning is crucial. This includes not just legal documents, but detailed instructions about preferred care settings, spiritual needs, and funeral arrangements. Some elder orphans pre-plan and prepay for funeral services to ensure their wishes are carried out.
Doctor, what role can neighbors play in emergency support?
Neighbors can be lifesavers. Simple agreements like daily check-ins, sharing emergency contact information, and having backup keys can make enormous differences. Some neighborhoods organize informal support networks specifically for aging residents.
Doctor, for seniors who are already somewhat isolated, how can they start building the connections they need?
It's never too late to build connections, but it requires stepping out of comfort zones. Start small, chat with cashiers, join one activity group, volunteer for a few hours weekly. The key is consistency and being open to relationships developing gradually. Many elder orphans are introverted or have become isolated due to losses, That's okay. You don't need dozens of friends, just a few reliable connections who know you and care about your well-being.
What about people who feel like they have nothing to offer in relationships?
This is a common but mistaken belief. Every senior has life experience, wisdom, skills, or simply the capacity to listen. Many relationships between seniors are based on mutual support, rather than one person giving and another receiving.
How can seniors identify trustworthy people to include in their support networks?
Look for people who are reliable in small ways. They show up when they say they will, they remember what you've told them, they respect boundaries. Trust should be built gradually through consistent small interactions rather than immediate deep disclosure.
What about professional versus personal relationships?
Both are important. Professional relationships with healthcare providers, service providers, and paid caregivers can provide crucial support, while personal relationships provide emotional connection and advocacy. The ideal support network includes both types.
Doctor, how do cultural differences affect how people approach building these networks?
Cultural background definitely influences how people form relationships and ask for help. Some cultures emphasize extended family support, while others value independence. The key is finding approaches that feel authentic to your background while meeting your practical needs.
Doctor, how can seniors balance the need for support with maintaining their independence and dignity?
This is crucial. The goal isn't to become dependent on others, but to create safety nets that allow continued independence. Think of it as insurance. You hope you won't need it, but it's there if you do. Good support systems actually enable independence by providing backup for when you need help, allowing you to take appropriate risks, and giving you confidence to continue living actively.
What about reciprocity in these relationships?
Reciprocity is important for maintaining dignity and relationship balance. This doesn't mean equal exchange. You might help someone with technology while they help you with transportation. The key is that everyone contributes something to the relationship.
How can seniors prepare financially for the possibility of needing paid support?
Financial planning should include potential costs for care coordination, home maintenance, transportation, and emergency care. Long-term care insurance, health savings accounts, and setting aside funds specifically for aging-related services can provide security.
What about housing considerations for elder orphans?
Housing choice becomes crucial. Some elder orphans choose to move to communities with built-in support systems, senior communities, co-housing developments, or neighborhoods with strong aging-in-place programs. Others modify their homes for safety and accessibility. Doctor, what's your advice for adult children who are concerned about becoming elder orphans themselves? Start planning early. Don't assume your children will be available to provide support. Build diverse relationships, stay physically and mentally active, manage your finances responsibly, and create legal documents while you're healthy. The earlier you start, the more options you'll have.
Doctor, despite the challenges we've discussed, I imagine some elder orphans are thriving. What makes the difference?
Absolutely. The elder orphans who thrive share certain characteristics. They're proactive about building relationships, they maintain purpose and engagement in life, they're realistic about planning while staying optimistic about possibilities, and they focus on what they can control, rather than what they can't. Many discover that the relationships they choose and build are actually stronger than family relationships that exist by default. When people choose to care about you, that care is often deeper and more reliable.
What role does attitude play in successful aging as an elder orphan?
Attitude is huge. Elder orphans who see themselves as independent and capable, rather than abandoned or unlucky, tend to be more successful at building support systems and maintaining quality of life. They approach relationships from strength, rather than desperation.
Any final advice for our viewers who might be elder orphans or worried about becoming one?
Don't wait for crisis to force action. Start building your support network today, regardless of your age or current family situation. Be proactive about legal planning, financial preparation, and relationship building. Remember that many people are in similar situations. You're not alone in facing this challenge.
What gives you hope about addressing this crisis?
I see communities beginning to recognize and respond to this issue. I see seniors taking charge of their own planning and building creative solutions. I see younger generations thinking about their own aging differently. Change is happening, even if slowly.
Doctor, before we wrap up, I'd love to ask, have you met someone who embodies everything we've talked about? Someone who's aging alone, but not lonely?
Yes, I have. I'd like to tell you about Gloria, who's 82 now. She never married, has no children, and outlived most of her close relatives. When she turned 75, she realized no one was going to magically appear to take care of her. And instead of sinking into despair, she took action. She joined a local senior co-housing group, not a nursing home, but a community of independent seniors who live in a shared space with private rooms and communal living areas. They cook together once a week, have emergency response plans in place, and they check in on each other every morning with a simple text or knock on the door. Gloria told me, "It's not what I imagined growing old would look like, but it's full of laughter, purpose, and people who truly care. We chose each other, and that makes it beautiful."
That's powerful. Aging alone doesn't mean aging without connection. Gloria's story is a reminder that even if your support system isn't built by blood, it can still be built by love, effort, and intention. What's your final message for seniors facing the possibility of aging without family support?
You have more power and more options than you might think. While you can't create the family you never had or bring back family members you've lost, you can create support systems that provide safety, advocacy, and connection. It requires effort and planning, but it's absolutely possible to age well as an elder orphan. Remember that family is about function, not just biology. The people who show up for you, advocate for you, and care about your well-being, those are your family, regardless of blood relationships.
Before we go, folks, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This crisis affects millions of American seniors, and awareness is the first step toward solutions. Share this video with anyone who might be facing aging without family support. They need to know they're not alone, and there are ways to create safety and community. Doctor, thank you for shedding light on this hidden crisis and for giving hope to seniors who might be feeling abandoned by circumstance.
Thank you. Remember, everyone, aging is a community responsibility, and we all have roles to play, and ensuring no senior faces their final years alone and unsupported.
Until next time, this is Senior Strength Show, where we believe that every senior deserves to age with dignity, safety, and community.